Hi everyone, this is Natasha, and after binding the TP Mini, which is I think video number 8, that is on YouTube already, I thought of something just as I was about to fall asleep, which I think I'm going to try. If it doesn't succeed, I'll just cover it with another piece of paper. If it does, it might be kind of cool. So the reason I have my crocodile out is I'm going to take the binding and slice it right down the center. This is 2.5, so I found the center at 1.25. I'm just going to cut it with a pair of scissors and then add eyelets on either side and then lace through those eyelets this gorgeous fuchsia silk ribbon into a corset style gathering. Purely decorative because it's not well, it is going to be decorative, but it's going to look as though the mini is bound by the corseting. So that being said, I'm gonna just move that out of the way. And if anyone has any questions, for those of you who are live, feel free to ask. I'll try to repeat the question for those who are watching the recording. So since there's 5, I know that the center one, the third one in from either side, is the center. Plus I've already marked it. You can see with a tiny little dot right there. That's the center. So I'm going to trim it. Literally cut it in half. And the longer your shears, the easier this will be. And look, I've got the guts of it on the inside. So now what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to round each of these sides the 1/4 inch rounder, which is the making memories, or we're memory keepers. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. I have my water off to the side. And just going to stand it up and round it off. And then I'm going to change or take off some of that white core. So let me grab my distress ink and gather twigs. My little dauber. It's kind of convenient that I've been working on the same project for the last several days. I have all of the products that I've been using right nearby. So I'm just taking the white core edge off and just a little bit of distressing because this is going to be now visible. And you'll see there's a method to my madness. Oh, and there goes my voice. Okay. So in order to keep it level or even, I am going to do a little bit of cheating. I'm going to set 10 eyelets, 5 on each side, and I'd like for them to be uniform. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a piece of cardstock, trim it down to the same size so I can make myself a template for the holes. That way I know that they'll be the same from one to the other. Thank you. I'm not talking to myself, somebody asked a question. Alright, so I have this. So that's the exact measurements. And I am going to pull out my little trusty ruler. I'm sorry about that glare. My trusty little 6-inch ruler. So this is because I want them to look even, although the front, the side, some of that is going to be hidden by the ribbon. So it's 2.5. So I know I want a center one to be at 1.25. Right, so that's the center, because I want 5 on each side. So then I need 2 on here and 2 over there. So So the center between those two pieces, okay, let me just line that up because it's slip sliding around. Okay, so 1 1/4 is the center. Hello, welcome to everyone that I haven't said hi to. I'm just making a little template for the holes that I'm going to punch for the lacing. Okay, so center, and I need 2 more. 1/4 inch. Okay, so I need one at 1/4 inch, one at 3/4 inches, one at 1 3/4, and one at 2 1/4. Okay, that looks like it's spaced this way correctly. Now it's just a matter of make sure that they're lined up this way. And actually the way to do that would be to, and because this is just a template, is to run a straight line through them, and then they would have to be centered on there. Okay, so let me punch those out with my crocodile. If you don't have a crocodile, you could do this part with just a regular hole punch as well, or the standard hole punch. And I'm going to use the 3/16 side, I think. Yep, 3/16. So I'm going to do the center. I think I need it just a little further back for the guide. There's a guide on the side. Oh, this is the 1/8 side, and I think it goes an inch, and I have it set at 1/4. I think I could go down to 1/2. And this will keep my paper aligned to 1/2 inch. Oh, just a little higher. Okay. Be careful, don't stick your fingers in here. I have a tendency to do that, so when I punch, I actually squish my fingers. So there's the center. That little remnant just totally went down my shirt. It's kind of funny. And then 2 more, and there'll be 5 on each side of the flaps. And then the last one. See, I'm just lining up through the hole the little black circle that I wrote or drew in. Hi, Sarah. Okay, let's see how lined up these are. So that's going to be my little template. And now I'm going to transfer the template Well, thank you for stopping by. This is being recorded, so you can always watch it later at your convenience. So now I'm going to take this template, which is the same width, and I'm going to line it up to the edge of the paper because I know I cut it in half. Line it up to the ends and draw in the little circles so I can go in and punch them out. And you might be hearing the chickens. Those little pigs have gone through. See, I have the circles all drawn out. I'm going to do the same thing on the back. Those little piglets have gone through a 5-pound bag of food in 1 week. And there's just 6 of them. And they're so itty bitty, or they started off itty bitty. They're not itty bitty anymore. So I had to go pick up a 25-pound bag for them of food for them. Okay, so I'm gonna. Oh, and I don't know if it's who asked me specifically, but this gel pen that I've been using for a lot of things, including journaling, is the 2-pack from scrapbook.com. Actually, I think it might have been a 4-pack, 2 black and 2 white, and it's really juicy. Like, I really like this pen, and I have a thing for pens, so that's my go-to right now. Okay, so let me just adjust. Let me see if I need to adjust the edge. And this might be a little awkward because, again, I'm doing things. Oh no, I could tilt it forward. I'm doing things kind of awkwardly after the fact because I should have thought of this earlier, but the idea came to me late last night, so I thought I would try it. Because I think it might look nice. And I'm gonna lace it from the bottom up so the bow is at the top. So it looks like a pretty present. So there's 5 of them lined up. Because I use exact same template, well, let's just make sure before I punch them in it's off. In theory, if I pull them over each other, they should line up, which they do. So you could see the pen drawings underneath. So now I'm just gonna pull it in the opposite direction and punch these out. Make sure I'm using the right hole. Yep. And then I'll set the eyelets. I think I'm gonna use brown. Okay, that went pretty quick. Let me just clean up my workspace. It is a gorgeous day today here, not the 93 degrees that we had yesterday and humid. It's beautiful in the 70s, breezy. Very nice. Okay, so I'm using the We Are Memory Keepers little brown eyelets that I used for the tiny little tags. So I'm going to see if I could put a whole bunch of them on and then crimp them all down. First, whoop, just dropped one. I'll make sure I check for it afterwards because I have small animals. Okay, so these are the small ones. So 1/8 and crocodile, it's C4. And for those of you who just stopping by, that little cheat sheet I showed you is on my blog. The image is on my blog. So you can go save it to your desktop and use it as a reference tool. So I'm just setting these. If I'm just slightly off camera, I want to make sure that I don't over crimp. So I've put a bunch of them in, and with the nipple side down into the eyelet, I'm gonna squish. I'm going to check to see if they're, I think I could squish a couple of them just a little more because I'm going to be threading through real silk. I don't want them to snag and rip the ribbon. I have this one set. I'm gonna do, I think I got them all well. And I'm gonna do this side. And then once this lacing is done, we could start working on the tags and the decorations. For those of you who are creating along with me. Okay, I'm gonna put those aside so I don't dump them accidentally. It's so funny, every other one keeps popping out. Probably should just set them all one at a time. It doesn't matter what paper you use, it's really just, I mean, I got inspired by the browns and the pinks of this paper, but see, all done. So now I'm just gonna lace this together. And because it's a lace, I could tighten it if I don't have quite as many embellishments on the inside, or I could loosen it if I need the full, like, see this whole, like, it could be as wide as this, but it could be as tight as that. Alright, so let me put my crocodile away. Which paper line are you using, Len? I'm gonna need something to set this into. Oh, marry me. So I don't have to hold this. So I'm just using roll of tape to put the mini in, because I don't think I need the entire yard. Although, I don't know, should we try the whole yard? So I'm thinking I'm gonna start at the bottom and then crisscross lace up and then tie a bow up here. And I'm going to start on the inside, and I am going to try to roll the edge just a little bit, so it makes it easier to pull it through, because these are smaller eyelets. I could have used larger ones, but it would have taken up, it would have been kind of out of scale, I think. So the challenge is going to be getting these in. You know what? I don't need to be killing myself. Let me grab a pair of tweezers. That will be the easiest way to get it in. And I'll trim off the ends. I do, but I don't know. It might fit. Hold on, let me look, Sarah. That would make it easier, wouldn't it? I think I have it nearby, too. Alright, let me look at my stash of stuff. Nope, not here. Oh, I think the needles are in here. X-Acto knife. Mini Oops. Okay, here I have, I don't know if it will fit. It might be a tight fit. But ouch, as I poke myself. But let's try it. Okay. I think I could fold this at least in half, if not in thirds. Maybe in thirds will be easier. And get it from the corner. You know what I need is an upholstery needle, because upholstery needles have those really big. Oh, but look, that worked fine. Thank you, Sarah. That's much easier. I'm not gonna go in too far because I don't want to snag the. Well, thanks to Sarah, this is a brilliant idea. So I'm gonna pull in. It would be a brilliant idea, except it doesn't go to the eyelid. What's the expression? If it's not one thing, it's your mother. Yeah, it doesn't pull through. That's okay. We'll just make adjustments. But it was a brilliant idea. I have to give you kudos for that. It's okay. We'll get it done. You know what I think I might do? So I'm going to cut this at an extreme angle to give myself a starting point. And even if it frays, I have plenty of length to work with. Oh, I think I got it. Alright, and I'm gonna cut the other end as well. At an angle like that, that did help. Oh, these scissors are just perfect for the fabric. You know, I have a needle threader I probably could have used in one of my little cheap hotel sewing kits. That probably would have worked fine as well. But I'm really patient at things like this, so I want to make sure I have even length on both sides. That's a little longer. Before I start lacing it up. Perfect. Okay, so now to decide which way to go. Crisscross, like that. I'm going to do this loosely for now, and then I'll go back. Is this wrong? Am I doing this wrong? Is it over or under? Does this seem off? I'd say I'd look down, but I don't wear shoelace shoes. I definitely want to have more of the ribbon visible, so that's why I thought the over would be better. But then what do I do with this? Anybody have any suggestions? While I lace the second one in. Now that I have it this way, now what? I have to come up. Which one is this? To this one. If you use wider eyelets, you could totally use the needle, and this would make this part a lot less tedious. It's not too bad. I mean, it's not like there's a lot of lacing to go. And it is easier that it's at least standing and freestanding. You're not trying to hold on to the mini as you're doing this. So I'm just doing it loosely for now. And then this one. I'm definitely going to have ribbon left over, which is fine because that way I could do a nice fluffy bow, and in case I need to expand the mini by at all, I am going to poke this one in. Like watching paint dry. I have to tilt that towards me for a sec. the last couple is because you have to squeeze your fingers in. Alright, and now these will come out the top one, and then I'll tie the bow. And these should be a little easier. And then this one over here. I'm going to have lots of ribbon left. That's good to know. It's always better to have more than not enough, right? Okay. I think I'm going to leave it just this loose. I kind of like the whole play with it. And then tie it into a bow and adjust it. Just putting my fingers in each of the bow parts, putting a finger in each one, and then pulling it back until I get the desired size, and then I'll tighten it. A little bigger on this side. Okay. And now I'm just going to trim it down to the bottom here. Maybe just a little bit longer. Oh, I like that. It gives you a little nice visual interest for the binding too. Alright, I'm going to pop this in here for a sec and trim the little ribbon. Fold it in half and give it a little decorative trim. I'm going to make sure it's even. So on the folded side, I'm going to go like that. It gives you little tails. Much easier having this all set up so you don't have to keep holding them any. Okay. So now I have a little extra. Let me move the oh, this does look like a wedge of cake. So there's the little binding accessorized. So now we have the tags to put in there. Thank you. Let me grab my big bite and we'll set these large brown eyelets. I don't think I have enough of this to put on the edge of each one, but I did grab a really pretty tulip pink seam binding, which I think would work very nicely with a brown. So let me just grab my big bite off my shelf. Oh, and it's all dusty from the windows being open. And I need to check my cheat sheet on the grommets. Big bite only, D4. So D4 for these big ones. Okay. And I already put 2 of them in, and I'll show you how the rest work because I have them right here. Let me move this aside right there so you still see it. Okay. D. Four. Okay. And I think it goes this way. Oh, no, I'm not certain. Let me impress a piece of cardboard just so I see what it does. Okay, it squishes. I'm thinking this one has to be turned upside down. And I was right. So these big grommets, you have to put the grommet side down. See, there's a little indentation. Let me just turn that out and show it to you. That's 4, and the grommet sits on top of the little ring. And then squishes over there. Looks like a star. Okay, so that's good to know. Why did this one not set right? It's all flush. I'll have to fix that with a pair of pliers. So the holes on these tags will let you just about squish the grommet on. So I'm just going to poke it so the little feet come on the other side of the grommet. There you go. So this goes onto the little ring. Yeah, that one's up much better. I almost think that these weren't. Oh, they weren't thinking. There's no way to cut this. You're supposed to put it poke it right through the paper. But the holes on these tags are too large for the big, even the big eyelets. Okay, 2 more. And I'm just kind of fitting it into the hole until the prongs come out the back. Oops. Okay. Okay, and last one. And I could put this tool away and we could start decorating, which I think is probably the most fun. All right. Okay, so now all of these have extra large grommets. See, this one got all displaced, but I think I could fix, oh, focus. There you go. But I think I could fix it with a pair of pliers. Okay, that's as good as it's gonna get. Okay, so that's all done. Alright, so these are going to go inside each of these. What order did I have them in? I think I wanted the dress one in the front. Little eye hole, the keyhole. Stripe here because it matches the stripe. I'm matching up the interior little piece of paper with the paper on the mini. And then one gets two. The 3D butterfly, to which I added some bling. It has paper on the inside. And I did color up the butterfly front and back with Lindy Stamp Gang Hottie Patati Starburst stain. And I used just a watercolor or water pen. Just dunked it in there. I didn't soak up any of the color. I just wanted to, whatever was going to be on the brush is going to be enough. So these two go here. Okay. So now I have, that's what it looks like so far. So I have the little decorative edge on the binding, some butterflies. And let's pull out the embellishments. Now I did work on a couple of little things the other day when I had a meeting that I was not a participant on, just listening in. The rest of these stickers from the sticker pack, which is what this cover one is, where the cover one's from, I did put them on paper and trim them out. So I have smile, laugh, love, shine, and this last one I wanted to show you. That's what I did. I just took some scrap pieces of the designer paper, put the sticker on it because it's see-through, so you can see the pattern paper underneath, and I'm just going to trim it out. And then just cover the edge with some of the distress ink. And I'm leaving a little border, but not too much. So there you go. Aspire. Just wiping the ink off my desk surface so it doesn't cross-contaminate anything else that I use. So I do have an option at this point to cover the seams up, and I had cut out this Shapeabilities from Spellbinders with craft paper, and then I colored it up using the Cadbury Milk Chocolate Starburst stain. And I think 2 fit just on the width of the toilet paper. But if I do it on one, I feel like I'm going to need to do it on all of them. And I certainly have the paper to do all of this. It's just a matter of coloring it up, because here, let me show you what the difference is between the craft. So this is the plain craft, and this is the craft with the milk chocolate on it. It gives a nice shimmer and nice brown. So I could certainly cut more out, but I'm thinking I almost need to cover this up in its entirety. And so I'd need 1, 2, 3, just 4 of them, which I could do, and that would make it a little more finished. There's nothing worse to me than having like all this work go into. It was a dauber top. Using a dauber top actually saves you the product, and this is the Old Harry. And I believe that they're now being shipped with the Baldy as the default. You have to request, I think, the Harry. It's a strange thing to have to ask for, isn't it? I'll take the Harry. So I do like this, and then I found, I mean, I do have some other things that I have nearby. I have some laces. Where is it? That's not it. I did pull out some. Where did I put it? It was just here. It doesn't have legs. It couldn't have walked off my desk. Could it be hiding? Must be hiding. Okay, well, I have some lace, but this reminded me, this particular cut. You have to order the dauber separately now? I didn't realize that. I haven't placed an order with Lindy's in some time. Probably because I have pretty much every color with the exception of the newest ones that have come out this year. So I guess it makes sense. There's no more starburst stains either. Yeah, I'll have to. I never had a problem with the mold. I know some people were. I like having the option of doing either. If you don't ordinarily, I'm sorry, I just got something in my eye. If you don't ordinarily use your sprays a lot, I actually used to order all of them with dauber tops, with the exception, I think I may have 2 sets that have the sprays, and that explains why maybe it was my last order that came with the sprays. I thought they made a mistake. I just didn't notice it. It's funny what you get used to. I was accustomed to having them all be delivered with the dauber tops, and that's my preference because I don't spray a lot. I find that you waste a lot of product spraying. There are, however, times the need for a spray because you can't get the product into whatever it is that you need to apply the color to. But for this, like for this application, if I had sprayed, all of the holes would have been wasted, you know, all the spots where there's holes would have been wasted product. This way I just used the dauber, and then whatever was left over, I turned it over and just rubbed it on my desk, so there was no waste, or minimal waste is what I'd like to think. So I think I really do want to cover the interior. Otherwise, seeing that will just drive me kind of nutty. So my anal retentiveness. So let me see. I know I have this brown, which is the same as the binding, and that might be a nice thing to use because then there's continuity. And how much would I need? I know I have another sheet of it in the pack. I think I only need about a 1/2 inch. So 1/2 inch. No, do I need a 1/2 inch? I need more than that. 3/4 inch. Maybe an inch would be ideal because then the seam would be in the middle. So, and I have 3 inches here. So if I cut this in 3, I'll take care of these 3 and I'll just have 1 left over. So, okay, that works. Works for me. Okay. Just move this aside to get my giant trimmer for this tiny piece of paper. Okay. It's this way, right? Yeah. 1 inch at a time. Well, that doesn't look like an inch, does it? I did just measure 3, right? Okay, well, I'm gonna need another piece of paper anyway, so let me pull that. And the plain papers from this Immortal Love stack, matte stack, the brown. I think there's 4 pages of 4 sheets of each one, so I think I have, oh no, there's 6 and I have 2 left. 6. Yep. Alright, and this is oh, 2.5 inches. By 1. Okay, the chickens sound like they're having a conference call, because one will talk up and then the other one will take over, and it's just really funny. 1, 2, 3, 4, that's all I need. I have to skeletally move it around. I think I am going to score them because I want to make sure they don't crack. Right, holding on to a small piece of paper is no easy task. And I am going to edge them in the ink before I apply them so I don't have to make any corrections afterwards. Okay. Again, to take off that white core, you know what paper would have been ideal for all this binding is the craft core paper from Tim Holtz, which I had looked at several times but have not gotten. Most recently when I ordered stuff from joanns.com, which isn't here yet, but they had all their paper crafting stuff 50% off, and a paper pack was one of them. And I think what deterred me is the fact that there's only 18 sheets in there. But that would have been the ideal paper to use, because then I wouldn't have to do any of this. Everything would be already craft core. So that's something to keep in mind depending on what your center or your primary color is, to use that same core color paper. Okay. So fold, fold. And I am going to use red line tape because these are going to be stress points to be used to open and close. I want it to be sturdy as possible. Must have had it out too long yesterday. stuff stuck to it. Okay. I'm going to do this close to the edge. I'm on vacation next week, and we're not going anywhere, we're just doing things around the house, so I think I might do some Ustreams during the week, during the day. I have one meeting that I need to attend for work, I think on Tuesday, but other than that, I think I'll be around. So I was thinking of maybe doing a project, one project from start to finish. So I'll be taking suggestions if anybody's interested in seeing anything in particular. Yeah, I'm willing to try all sorts of things craft related. I suppose I should specify, right? Is anyone chatting on the social stream, or does everybody just chat in the chat? Because I know some people were having some problems with chat not working for them, so I'm not really sure where to look. Hi, Dan. Okay. Last one. I'm going to try and get it in the crease. Just keep in mind this additional layer of paper binding is going to make the flexibility just a little less than just with the centers, but it is going to make it sturdier. Thank you, Dan. We added a little bit of decorative external binding element, which I'll show you in a sec after I get the rest of these centerpieces in. We added this lacing with on eyelets in the silk ribbon. So now the centers are covered. Ooh. Press down the tape always helps, right? So now I can grab some of my embellishments and just throw out this red line tape covers. Yes, that is Wild Orchid Craft silk ribbon. It's the fuchsia one. And still have these two pieces left after lacing and tying on that generous bow. Okay, so I have this shapeabilities I cut out of craft paper, and then the chocolate, milk chocolate, Cadbury milk chocolate. And I'm thinking, I don't know if I want to add it to the cover, if that's just too much. And this reminds me of the Guy Pearl lace from Wild Orchid Crafts, or just on the inside pages. Let me trim one down and audition it in a couple of different places, see how I like it. I guess I like it on the front cover. You know, and I mean, I could cut as many as I need, so I could certainly put one in at every location. Okay, then I will do that. I'll add that to the front. Let me... I'm going to grab my zig two-way because of the fine elements of it. And my quick dry is all schmutzy and not behaving, so this is what I have to use. Since there's no embellishments on the inside, I'm not hurting anything by squishing this down. As a matter of fact, I could probably take all the tags out for now, because I don't really need them in here. Uh-oh. Why are you stuck? Good night, thank you for stopping by. I don't know why this one is stuck. Peculiar. Okay, yeah, I think I like it on the outside. I can add one on each side of these, so let me trim these down, because I know two fit nicely on the edge. I'm just rounding off because I've trimmed them. And I have an extra little one. Yeah, I think that's good. And we have other embellishments. We have little pockets, file folders. We have this one, the tiny tags. I hear my mom's dog coughing. A couple more embellishments there. I also colored up one of these frames that I made using the Martha Stewart mold and her clay, and I used the chocolate. Here's the before and after. The Cadbury milk chocolate, Lindy's Starburst stains. So that might be a cute little embellishment to use, maybe right there. Yeah, these are the push molds, the Martha Stewart push molds. And her clay, it's not brittle, it's dries, stiff but pliable. And then you can paint them up. So I kind of like that in here, but let me put these down first. That's the Martha Stewart clay that comes with the molds and is available separately for sale. I don't know if it's specifically paper clay though. I'll have to check. I know there are paper clays out there that are very, very light, and this clay is very light, very easy to work with. I'm just rubbing off that extra glue that is left on my desk because two-way becomes tacky when it stops being blue, when it becomes clear. I certainly don't want any tackiness on any of the stuff that I'm working on the front side. You could just get the molds and the clay. You don't need the starter kit. I got the starter kits because I liked some of the molds in the starter kits, but you certainly don't need the starter kits from Martha Stewart in order to do anything. They have a couple of tools in them which are helpful, but they're available through other companies besides hers. So I like that. That'll be a nice addition. Well, it's finally coming together. Don't you feel like I've been working on this for forever? Make sure, I think my last fold is a little wonky. Yeah, I glued it too high on one side. See if I could pull it up gently. Oh, there's commotion in the kitchen. I hear the chicken fracas. Yeah, the last page was lying a little funny because it's not lined up evenly. Martha Stewart went to jail for insider trading. And she put on a talent show while she was there. By all accounts, she was quite popular there. that peeled up nicely. Okay, I'm going to get in the center. Okay, that's a little better. Yeah, now it's even. There's always some kind of adjustments that need to be made. I don't know if I should call it a night for tonight's stream. So we've done the binding alterations, which I'm rather fond of this particular look. And we added some embellishment to the front and then to the insider pieces. So I think what I'm going to do is I will get the rest of the smaller embellishments for the interior, all of these done. And for the next stream I'll have those ready so we can go ahead and start putting together the embellishments, like the frames and all these little tags that I made last, well, I don't know, sometime earlier in the week. I've lost track. Some of these cute little pockets and these little tags, and I have this cute little bird which I can use maybe even in the frame. Like that. So we have lots of things to play with. So thank you for those of you who joined me today. I know it was a little slow going because of all this lacing and getting that all together. But at least this much is done, right? And we have the tags all grommeted. And I think I'm going to use the pink tulip seam binding in the edges of each of the tags. Thank you, and I'm going to have the full list of all the products used, all the Wild Orchid Crafts, all the paper stuff, the eyelets, the Martha Stewart stuff, everything, the McGill punches listed on my blog. That same blog post that I've been adding photographs to as new things are added. I'll take some photographs today of the binding that was done, and I'll add that to there as well. I find that in photographs you can see greater detail than you can see on video. So, but it's nice to have both. So I think I'm gonna end the recording here. So for those of you who are watching the recording, thank you. This is part 9, and it's probably the longest one. But we're in the home stretch. Now it's just a matter of decorating, which is really the fun part. So I'm gonna stop the recording. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned, there'll be more.